heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark. Maybe in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Maybe in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares. Maybe in the heart of Texas. Here we go.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Bois. King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty, Season 4, Episode 3. Bills are meant to be broken.
Bills are meant to be broken.
Are made to be broken.
Made
Sorry.
to be broken.
Mm-hmm. My fault.
Yeah.
I just ate a Cliff Bar, and it was very peanutty.
It's probably really dry. You're probably struggling right now.
There was a lot of chocolate on it on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's not Cliff. What is this?
Oh, that's not Clint.
Wait. That's Trader Joe's.
Oh,
so
Trader
sorry.
Joe's.
Trader Joe's bar.
Trader
Yeah.
Joe?
And this is our little friend. His eyeballs are missing.
George
the eyeball missing gorilla.
George.
Here's my Alamo beer. All the way from McDonald's. Okay. So this is a Bill-centric episode here. This is all Bill all the time.
A Bill-centric episode, but it's also a flashback too.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of references to some high school football, and it reminds me of a lot of these hometown guys that never really leave hometown. The one big highlight in their the one big highlight in their life ends up being the big game. You know, it's always about the big game. The big game.
This is very true to our area. I understand these guys because we know these guys. You know?
No, there's
a lot of these guys around here.
Like yeah.
All right, let's get into it. This also is the first episode we introduced to Sports Jock and Chad.
Sports Jock and Chad, which is
Sports Jock and Chad in the morning.
Which was what's the name of that? Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
Oh, what's the name of that? I got to pull up Artie's stuff here. Artie, he told me what it was.
He told us who Sports Jock and Chad were?
Who they were modeled probably after is what he said. So
well, as soon as you get that, let me know.
I got it right here. Here we go. So it says Sports Jock and Chad is based on Mike and the Mad Dog, the first major sports talk radio show to get national attention. They were out of New York. It was a guy named Mike Francesca.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
Francesa and
Mike
Chris
Francesa.
Russo, Mad Dog Chris. And it started in
Mad Dog Chris
89.
Russo.
Yeah, Mad Dog Chris Russo. So,
all right, that makes sense. But, I mean, this could be any sports host around the country.
Sports host, yeah, but this was in 2001, so they would have been at like the height of their popularity because they ended in 2008. We have one kind of like this here in town. Those 365 guys, you know, they all used to be. Sikkim,
they all used to be on the radio, and then ESPN came in and cleaned house. And now that ESPN station is nothing but like cartridges and robots.
Yeah, that's all
and
it is.
So, all the radio guys got together and started a brand new thing, which is kind of cool. But it does remind me of Sports Jock and Chad in the mornings. You know, I've been watching.
Jock and Chad.
I've been watching.
In the morning.
I've been rewatching Parks and Rec.
Yeah, what's his name on there?
Their guys are Crazy Ira and the Douche.
Crazy Ira and the Douche.
Douche Nation.
Douche Nation.
So we start with
I'm gonna have to do a rewatch.
Crazy Ira and the Douche.
That's the next podcast. Y'all stay tuned for the Parks and Recreation rewatch
I'd love
podcast.
To do a Parks and Rec one. There's one that Rob Lowe does, which I'm not sure we're doing any better than Rob Lowe. But okay, so we start in the alley with all four guys, and they have a radio that's much like ours here.
Yeah, they got an old-timey transistor.
And they've got that transistor radio on, and you're hearing No Time for Losers, the Queen song, We Are the Champions, playing.
Beautiful.
And then it goes to Sports Jock and Chad. We're back. Now, don't tell me Sports Jock took Pickens over Kearney. The one guy goes, well, Chad, if you don't want me to tell you, I won't tell you. Change the subject. Here's a topic for Sports Jock. Arlen High's very own senior running back, Ricky Suggs. And then Hank, his ears perk up real quick and shh, everybody drink quiet.
Drink quiet.
And you see Dale, like, he's like, tries to take a very quiet drink. And then we hear the Sports Jock and Chad again. Oh, yeah, 4 touchdowns last night. Now, I was at the Arroyo Diner, and Ricky was the only thing anyone was talking about.
And
this is when they all gather around the radio.
Yeah, Artie gave me another fact here for the Arroyo Diner.
Arroyo Diner.
Which I knew this one since I'm in Austin a lot. So He assumes so. He is assuming that this is a nod to a restaurant in Austin. It's on
Magnolia?
West Fifth and Campbell. It's called El Arroyo.
El Arroyo. Oh, the
They
one with
have
the
that
sign
big
that
sign.
changes all the time. Yeah.
They have that sign that changes. All
Their
the time
sign
down
is
there.
famous. Like you can buy shirts with their sign on it. You can buy the little sign where you can change the letters.
And that's exactly the sentence that he
Mhm.
finished with in that little deal he sent me. It said they are known for their famous.
Oh, yeah.
martini.
Oh, you see it. You see it on Reddit all the time.
Oh, it's there all the time. I drive past it like
Really?
twice a week. So
Yeah.
I must start taking pictures.
I don't
of
know
it.
if I've ever eaten there.
I need to start.
Like I
taking
lived in
pictures of
Austin
it.
for 5 or 6 years, and
You
I don't know if I
never
ever
ate
ate there.
It's probably a high end place, being as
Hmm.
popular it is. I imagine it's probably expensive.
Well, I mean, it's a Mexican restaurant. It's like Tex-Mex, so I don't know
Yeah.
how expensive Tex-Mex gets.
Oh,
but
it gets
still,
expensive.
does it?
When you start getting the
Using those gold line tortillas.
No, it's the beef.
The beef?
Beef's high right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, okay, I get that. So he says, the only thing anybody was talking about was Ricky, who had 4 touchdowns the night previous. He said that is except for Arroyo's lime ambrosia. I call that uptown good eating. Uptown. That's his big catchphrase.
Uptown.
That man's uptown.
That man's uptown.
You know, if
whatever
Ricky-
the hell that means.
He says if Ricky keeps up this pace, he'll capture the career touchdown record, which I might add has stood for over 20 years. Well, it looks like we've got our Sports Jock and Chad question of the day. And then they all lean in. Who currently holds the record? And here's the tricky part. What position did he play? Winner gets a Sports Jock t-shirt and dinner for 2 at the Arroyo. All 4 of the guys split up. However, Boomhauer stays pat. These 3 guys, Bill, Dale, and Hank, are all running for their landline phones so that they can call in and get this free T-shirt because they know it's Bill,
Yeah.
right? They know it's Bill. And,
Everybody knows who it is. Yeah.
yeah, and then Boomhauer just stands in the street, pulls out his big flip phone, and calls them, yo, man, dang old Bill Dotree, man, offensive lineman. And then we get our credits. It was a nice little opening. I like the opening.
I like those kind
It was
of
longer
openings,
than
too.
usual, but it was a
Where
nice
they
little
just dive
plug.
right into it.
Yeah, it was
I like
great.
that.
It was great. So we
They
get
call
our.
that a cold open, right?
It is a cold open. Yeah,
That
we get
was
our
a cold open for those of you who go to tvtropes.com.
TV tropes.
Actually, that website, I'm kind of looking at it. What it
Mhm.
does is it just goes through like all the classic tropes, and
Yeah.
it does like a rundown of all the tropes that are in each episode.
I think there's one called Jumping the Shark also,
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
which you know what Jumping the Shark means when they say that?
Nah,
So,
I can't say that I do.
In TV parlance, Jumping the Shark means you're doing one big thing that like it's a desperate measure to keep your show either relevant or hot or give it ratings
kinda
or
like
whatever.
The David Letterman morning show.
The first time that the phrase "jumping the shark" was used was on Happy Days, when all the characters went to California and Fonzie literally jumped a shark in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the big,
That was a big deal.
the big
Yeah.
ratings getter. And so anytime like you replace a character with somebody else, or all of the like Parks and Rec, they all go to England at one
Yeah.
point. They call that jumping the shark because
Oh,
it could be
okay.
like the last ditch effort to keep your show relevant.
Keep
or
it
whatever.
alive or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
jumping the shark. Thank you very much.
There we go.
All right, so we get our credits. We get no bell, no yell. That's for your sister. We start at Arlen High School Stadium. And, I mean, this is a big-ass stadium, honestly.
Big
it's a lot
stadium.
bigger than you would
It's
think
more
for a
like-
high school
it's
team.
It's more like I wouldn't say, I don't want to compare it to Allen, Texas. Allen, Texas has the largest football stadium, and it's comparable. They're larger than
Mm-hmm.
some colleges.
Well, I mean,
stadium.
around here, we've got the Waco ISD Stadium that
That's
two
good
different
size.
schools, 2 high schools share.
Yeah.
Then we've
Waco
got
University.
Midway's Stadium, which I would say it's a tad smaller than that one.
Yeah.
But the Waco ISD one's pretty
It's
damn
pretty
big.
good size.
Yeah, it's
they
pretty
use
good
it for
size.
other events and stuff too. So
Yes, my wife just had to
The,
go to 2
uh,
graduations.
The
there.
biggest one that I've seen though is the one. I think that is the biggest one. It's in Allen, Texas. It's like right off the highway.
Oh, yeah?
But it's got to be about the size of a college football stadium.
I would think if you get into any of those perennial state championship type teams that they're going to have giant stadiums. I mean, they've
All the
got
money's
backers.
insane.
They've got
They're
yeah,
in one of
they've got
those
all this
rich
money and all
areas
this
too,
stuff.
so the
Yeah.
tax bracket's real high. They get a lot of tax money.
Yeah. But we're at the Arlen High School Stadium, and Bill is in the stands with everybody else, and he's like, I don't want to miss it. If Ricky ties my record, I'm going to the little lineman's room now. He just can't stand it. He's so nervous. So he goes off to the bathroom. Dale, well, actually, one of the callbacks that I don't know if anybody mentioned is Boomhauer is wearing the Sports Jock and Chad shirt that he won.
No.
He's wearing the T-shirt, which I thought was fantastic. Yeah. So he gets up and goes to the bathroom, and Dale is like, this record is all the Bill's got. Should we rock, paper, scissors to see who keeps him from killing himself in the bathroom? Jesus, Dale.
Damn.
Hank right next to him says,
see, that's the thing is nowadays a lot of those
you can't
jokes,
make that
they're
joke.
real
No.
hard to make nowadays.
No.
Especially on network television.
And so they've all got binoculars, and they're all, watching people in the stands, and they're also watching the game. Hank says, well, he seems okay. And then you hear the announcer say, interception! And I just love how that's Dale's voice, basically.
I love the announcer, too. I like the long drawn out.
I like it when his voice cracks. Yeah.
The voice cracks. Yeah.
And so he says interception, and Dale's like, "Who is it? Who is it? I'm out of focus. Focus me, Hank. Focus." He's trying to use his binoculars, and they're all out of focus. Hank says it's Ricky. He's going to take it back all the way. Bill, who we see through the binoculars, is down a little further down in the not so cheap seats. He's down there with a bunch of people, like the Miss Arlen or Arlen. She's got a sash on. I'll tell you what it is here in a minute because I wrote that down. And so you hear Bill go, "Woohoo! There you go, Ricky!" And then you hear the announcer again say, "That ties the record for career touchdowns currently held by 1974's Bill Dauterive, who's here in the stands tonight. Let's give him by the hand." And then you see,
he sounds out of breath the whole time.
That's right. He does sound out of breath. Yeah,
gasping for air.
Bill looks down at. Well, number one, they're saying let's have thank Bill Dauterive who's in the stands. Bill looks up at one of the big PA speakers and just starts waving like they can freaking see him through the speaker. He's just hey everybody.
Yeah, they don't always do it.
And Hank just says, "Well, I don't think we have to worry about Bill." And then you see Bill just pointing at Ricky and going, "You the man, you the man." We're back at Bill's house. All four of them are there, and Hank is kind of pacing up and down, and Bill is wearing a suit. One of the few times we see Bill in an actual suit. He says, "Now, I've never done a radio interview before, but hardly a week goes by that I don't do a telephone survey about my long-distance service."
He's that lonely, though.
That's right.
He's the guy who's going to talk to
he's going to take every one of those surveys, yeah. Hank says, "Bill, I'm not trying to make you nervous, but this is Sports Jock and Chad." Bill says, "Nah, I just see it like talking to some old friends." And he says, "Excuse me," and throws up. He goes, "Maybe I need a mint." The phone rings, so Sports Jock and Chad are actually calling him, which is weird at that time for them to call somebody for an interview over the phone,
Yeah, it is.
Was this 99?
Well, if they're living in the same town, I don't think the telephone thing's not that outlandish, but if he's in the same town, it's kind of weird.
Maybe they're in
like Dallas, Fort Worth.
Yeah, maybe they're in the next town over or whatever. Yeah. McMain or Bill.
They're syndicated to everywhere else. Yeah.
He goes, "No, it's just like having a talk with old friends," and he throws up, and then they call. He goes, "Hello, Sports Jock. Hello, Chad." Like he's known him for a long time. And you hear it start to echo. Did you ever call into the radio and have that happen to you? Like where you hear the squelch. I always
wanted to call into the radio, but I never did.
Really?
I would listen, and I would hear it, and I was like, "Oh, I could be calling number one."
Oh man, I used to call in all the time. Yeah, but, I won all kinds of shit on the radio.
We've got a very easy textbook definition, explained to a fifth grader kind of definition here for feedback loops. So,
once again, just to preface what you're going to talk about, when Bill answers the phone, he is on the radio, but there's a delay, right? And that, there's a delay, and so what we hear is the squelch and the delay coming through. Right, and they have to turn. They always want you to turn your radio down because there's a little bit of a delay and stuff like that, and so they do that. So tell us what it is.
Okay, everybody. So for those of you who are not audibly enhanced with your information here, so it's basically a feedback loop. The sound output accumulates. So as it's outputting the sound, the radio is amplifying the phone call. So it kind of goes into this feedback loop. So the phone's microphone is sending the same signal back to the radio station, which causes the cycle to repeat over and over. So with every loop, amplification is accumulated, and that's the womp, womp, womp.
Watch your loops, kids.
So watch your loops.
Watch your loops, kids. And that was a second with Mr. Science.
Mr. Science.
So there again, he's finally on the radio with them. You hear the feedback, and they go, "Hey, hold on, we got a little feedback here. Is your radio on, Bill?" And Dale's over there going, "Say no," because he just wants to listen to it, but he doesn't understand how any of it works. Sports Jock says, "Hell, it would just tear me up if some young buck was about to get my record. Some folks drink, but I find what best for ails me is to head on down to the Arroyo Diner for their delicious chicken fried steak, just sopping in cream gravy."
Sopping.
Man, that is uptown. But let's get back to Bill.
But,
Bill just says, "I like the yam biscuits." Yam biscuits.
Was your dad a guy that used bread with every meal to use for sopping?
My grandfather was.
Your grandfather
a
was?
lot of white bread. Yep.
Yeah, that's how my
beans
dad
and white
is.
bread kind of thing. You know?
My dad is like he'll have like half of an onion.
Yeah.
With every meal for like
Oh, yeah.
ever when we were kids.
My
and then
grandfather
he
would
like, two pieces of
eat an
bread.
onion like an apple.
Yeah, that's
you know,
how my
just
dad is. Yeah.
So he says, let's get back to Bill. He says, "I like the yam biscuits." And then he says, "Bill, our listeners want to hear about your record." He goes, oh yeah. He kind of clears his throat and he goes, "It was 1974 and we were playing the Watahichi." What does he say? Wahachi Cowboys. Wahachi. I don't know if that's a real place. I meant to look it up and I didn't. He goes, "The ball was on the 3-yard line with 5 seconds left. We needed a touchdown to win, and that's when Coach called for the bulldozer." And then you get this flashback, and you hear Bill just go, he's with his bulldozer cheer, right? And the crowd, you hear the crowd chanting, and Bill goes into the game. They give him the ball, and then he manhandles his way into the end zone with like 14 guys on his back or whatever. I know it's an 11-man game.
No, it was a
I get
lot. It was a ton of people. So I looked up Wahachi or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just wants to redirect me to Waxahachie.
Sure.
So,
I think that's what we're dealing with.
That's what he might be saying is Waxahachie, and it just come out Watahatchee.
Wahachi. And by the way, in this flashback, Bill has his long flowing locks. He's got pimples on his face. He's number 72. He's all decked out. Boomhauer is at quarterback, just like we've seen before.
This is pre-government testing.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah,
very much so.
Pre-chemical warfare.
But Bill drags all those guys into the end zone on his back, and Coach runs up and kisses him right square on the mouth. It is
Sowers again. That was the
Coach Sowers.
Coach Sowers. That's another cameo.
"You girls are running too slow."
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're back in the stands because the flashback is over. And they're all watching Bill down there, or they're watching Bill down at the bottom of the field with Miss Arlen. I don't think it's Miss Arlen. I think I'll correct myself here in a minute. But he's down there with several like celebrity type folks or whatever. He's got the game ball.
Localized celebrities.
He's got the game ball from when he won the state championship thing or whatever. Yeah, it's still got the ink on it and everything. And you hear Hank say, "Well, look at Bill. Lucky dog, you know, the principal comped his ticket. Almost makes me wish some kid would make a run at one of my records." Won't ever happen.
There was something I forgot. The song during
Hank's kind of an
Bill's
ass,
Hank is an ass. Hank's always kind of assholeish to Bill.
Especially about that stuff.
Yeah, no, you can't. You gotta let Bill have it. You know, that was the only thing he was ever good at.
It's bulldozer.
Well, that and the haircut. He's pretty good with a haircut. Just straight fade though. Just
That's
zoop,
true.
Zoop. But it says that song that was playing during the flashback. That was Iron Man by Black Sabbath. For those of you who don't know, Black Sabbath is lead singer was Ozzy Osbourne.
That's right. Sharon. And so he says, you know, that'll never happen to any of my records. Okay, Hank. And then we hear the announcer, "Ricky Suggs gets the handoff." Everybody gets real excited. He goes, "This would be it. Oh, what a hit. Suggs is down." And Ricky Suggs, who's supposed to break Bill's record, is down on the ground. He's hurt.
Torn ACL.
Yep. And you hear Hank say, "Oh, looked like it's his knee. Boy, if he wasn't playing on St. Augustine grass, I don't even want to think about what it is."
Yeah.
So
I guess St. Augustine grass has more give than other
yes,
grass.
man, whatever, spongy grass.
Yeah.
Dale says, "Wingo!" Ha ha! Ooh, for a second, I thought I was the only one who was happy about Ricky being hurt. He looks around. Everybody looks at him in the crowd because they're all applauding for the poor kid coming off this field, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, I thought I was the only one." And he goes, "Oh, she said it," and just points at the girl next to him.
Yeah.
It's just nuts. Okay. So we're at Heimlich County Physical Therapy, where Peggy still takes her physical therapy after falling out of a plane, which she mentions several times this episode and next. Peggy says she walks over to Ricky, who's over there with his full leg brace. I mean, that thing goes from
regalia,
from ass to tea kettle, right? I mean, it's the whole thing. She goes, Ricky Suggs, I was so sorry to hear about your injury, torn ACL. You are lucky you're not a horse, young man.
Yeah, that's dark.
Okay, Peggy.
That's a really dark joke, Peggy. Hey, she's lucky she's not a horse.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Yeah, that
she's
horse,
worse off than Suggs.
That horse would have been put out of his misery. Ricky says, doctors say I'm out for the season. She goes, oh, please, what do doctors know? Okay, Peggy, stay the hell out of it.
Yeah,
she's
always injecting
I wrote
herself.
shitty Peggy on this several times. She goes, this one and the other episode, the next episode, my God.
Yeah, she
goes, oh, please, what do doctors know? A doctor told me I might not walk again. Well, I'm not only walking, I hear his marriage has gone south, too. Just reveling in the fact that the doctors got a bad marriage. Ricky says, yeah, okay. She goes, that's the attitude. Now, get over there and spot me. Okay, Peggy. Now, we are back in the alley listening to the radio. It's all four guys, so it's Hank and Bill and Boomhauer and Dale. And you hear Chad say, that Bennett boy is a hoss. All right, he wait till he hits junior high. And Sports Jock says, oh, yeah, he can play football. Sports Jock, this is not a rumor. Ricky Suggs back in action this Friday. Funkin' Wagnall. He's going to be the touchdown record against Hintoff. That kid is up, down, all the way. So Ricky has decided to come in and get the record.
Funkin' Wagnall.
Funkin' Wagnall. That's right.
For those of you that don't know what Funkin' Wagnall is, as a child, I collected encyclopedias. So I had Encyclopedia Britannica set from like the 40s. I still have that, actually.
Funkin' Wagnall.
And then Funkin' Wagnall was an encyclopedia.
Yeah, they were a brand, basically.
Set or brand or whatever. And they distributed some literature.
Mr. Wagnall.
I wonder where they're at today. Probably
they're dead.
In a casket.
Hank says 1 week after a torn ACL. And then you hear Bill say, only Ricky and I know how tough it is to get this far. He won't let anything stand in his way. Yep, I remember hemorrhage and embolism, even detached retina. It sounded scary, but when you smell the goal line, they're only words. Just words. And then he starts kind of just tearing up like he's all broken up. Now it's the evening at the Hill House. I'm assuming it's a Friday night because they are ready to go to the game. And Hank says, let's get moving. And then Peggy says, why are you in such a hurry to witness Bill's soul-shattering collapse when Ricky Suggs crosses that goal line? Hank says, have you been talking to Dale? Because he's saying the same thing. You both think Bill will be depressed. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with the way Bill has handled this with sportsmanship and dignity. Bobby comes up. He's got a green number 1 finger, and he goes, does this finger go with these short pants? And he's got these red shorts on. Bobby, comedy genius. All right, we're at the field. It is home 14, which I'm assuming is Arlen, and visitor 20. 8 minutes, 37 seconds left in the second quarter. And then you see Bill still holding his football. He's there with the Arlen hostess. That's what her sash says. Arlen hostess.
Whatever the hell that means.
And he's watching the game with her like in this special box, and he goes, you the man, you the man. Oh, sorry, I got cotton candy in your hair, he says to the Arlen hostess. Then we hear the announcer, and Arlen has a first goal. Time out for a substitution. It's Ricky Suggs coming in to break the record for most career touchdowns, because the coach went over and patted Ricky on the side. Hank goes, what a competitor. Wow, look at him. He can barely walk. And that kid's limping out there with his leg brace on. Hank says, boy, I tell you what, if that boy doesn't make an NFL, he's got a job at Strickland Propane, pending Mr. Strickland's approval.
Yeah. He's still alive when the kid graduates.
You hear the crowd just chanting, Ricky, Ricky, Ricky. He makes it out there. Here's the big issue. They hand the ball to Ricky. Both teams part and just let Ricky limp into the end zone. Yeah, he literally drops the ball at some point. Yeah. One of the other players helps him pick it up, and then they let him score. Hank is like, what the? Nobody's trying to – they're letting him score. And this is not great in any of these guys' eyes.
This is also something that I just want y'all to know – it doesn't happen at all in Texas for injuries.
Well, the only thing it would happen for, I've seen this happen.
I've seen them do it with special needs.
Like special needs kids.
Special needs
That's
kids.
It. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or a water boy or something like that that's been a part of the team or something, and he never got to suit up.
Yeah, if Rudy broke his back or something.
We had a really he wasn't a dwarf or anything like that, but he was a really short kid, and he was just always small, and he was always on the football team, but he was just too small to really like actually play without getting like annihilated, destroyed, because he weighed about 80 pounds, and they would let him in games sometimes.
Really?
They would kind of. You see two coaches over there talking, hey, man, we got to let him
I don't know about breaking the record with this thing, though. That's the crazy part to me, right? But Hank is really torn up. He's like, they're letting him score. And then you see Bill, he's just kind of looking around like, what? And then you hear the announcer, Ricky Suggs, the new touchdown record holder. Hey, now they're carrying him in for the 2-point conversion. That's just too much. And then Hank just looks around at the entire crowd and goes, may God have mercy on all.
He was scornful,
yeah. The announcer one more time. Now that Ricky has broken the record, Ireland will allow Hintoff to score a make-up touchdown. And then you hear Ricky go on they've got a microphone over there for him. So not only are they letting him score, but now they're going to let the other team score just so that the score is the same as it was before he came in.
Yeah, which is like, that's completely counterproductive. Yeah,
it's insanity. But you see,
crazy.
Ricky has the microphone now, and he says, I'd like to thank everyone who made this possible. My coach, God, the school board. I also want to thank Mr. Debatrove for taking such good care of the trophy ball. He doesn't even know the guy's name. Doesn't even know his name.
Debatrove.
Bill, he hands the microphone to Bill, and Bill's just like, well, he just starts stumbling because he doesn't know what to say.
I don't know what to say at all.
This is, Bill gave everything he had to get this record, and then this kid's just allowed to do it. And he drives off with the ball and the girl in the little cart.
Boop.
And we got our first commercial break. So we will be right back. Let me tell you, Rusty, eating healthy used to be a struggle for me, but that was before I discovered the BlendJet 2 portable blender.
The BlendJet 2.
Now when fast food temptation strikes, I just blend up a delicious and nutritious protein shaker smoothie. They gave us a whole bunch of those little packages that came with the blender.
Yeah.
And there's some really good flavors in there. I mean, there's some like that matcha thing.
The green matcha?
Yeah, those are pretty damn good. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up smoothies at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. Maybe a human thumb. Don't put your thumb in it. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house. Lasts for 15 plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C, which has saved us all. There's nothing worse than turning that USB thing over and over and over and over, and then finally finding how it plugs in,
Oh, yeah, I don't like that either.
USB-C
saved us all.
Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap, and you're good to go. There's 30-plus colors and patterns to choose from. There's a BlendJet 2 to complement just about any style. We have a pink one? Lavender. I think ours is lavender.
Mine is the Toy Story Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Pizza Planet one.
Ooh, that one. Yeah. They've got some really cool colors, but I really like the patterns. I know one of the people here got one that looks like Woody the Sheriff.
Is there a code with them?
There is a code. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. Glab it today.
Glibbity glob.
And when you do glab it, make sure you use the promo code
BWAAA12.
That's to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code
BWAAA12
to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever.
BlendJet 2, formerly known as BlendJet.
Hey, everyone. It's me, your puzzle-loving pal. Did you know I was a puzzle-loving pal?
I didn't know you were a puzzle-loving pal.
I got to tell you about my latest obsession. It's Wongo puzzles. These things are the real deal. They are high-quality, handcrafted, and perfect for anyone who loves a good challenge but doesn't want to dedicate their entire kitchen table to puzzles for a week. Trust me, I have been there. I will tell you this. My parents, they're very old and decrepit,
and they make they do puzzles all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like there's always a table that
What else
has
are
like
you
an
gonna do,
unfinished
right?
puzzle. Yeah, it's either that or I don't know.
Die.
feel your bones. So these puzzles, these Wongo puzzles, they are 100% wooden. They'll last forever. Each piece is hand drawn. Just think about that for a second. Each piece is hand drawn, so no two pieces are the same, and you'll discover some fun whimsy pieces as you work through it.
Whimsy.
They come in a custom wooden box, which is perfect for storage and gifting. You know, before we started doing this, I didn't realize how many people I know already have these Wongo puzzles. I mean, they're apparently pretty.
You can't go wherever Juan go.
With stunning designs and unique shapes, Wongo puzzles are a cut above the rest. I loved doing the snow globe puzzle myself. It was great to pull out a puzzle and be done in a night and not have it on the table for a week. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to Wongo Puzzles, WONGO puzzles.com, and pick a puzzle today. And be sure to use the promo code
BWAAA
for 10% off your order. It's the most fun you'll have with a puzzle, guaranteed, or your money back. Go to WONGO puzzles.com and use your code
BWAAA
to get 10% off your order and get puzzling right now.
All right, and we are back. You've got all four of the guys in the alley, and they all look kind of worried. Like,
yeah, they got a real.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
You say, yep.
I don't know. It's kind of. Yep. I mean, I don't know. That would be disheartening. Wouldn't that be disheartening?
It would be very disheartening. Yeah.
Watching some kid just.
Yeah. Hank,
because he was injured.
Hank says, Bill, there's being a good sport, and then there's being plain cheated. And Bill says, I don't know. Everybody seemed real happy about Ricky breaking the record. Boomhauer pops in and says, yo, man, dang old 6 sharp, man, dang old sports jock Chad. Come on, man. So they turn on the radio, and the sports jock says, now, don't go saying the sports jock should be fitted for a skirt, but some of them are some of them pretty hoop earrings, but I got a tear in my eye last night watching Ricky break that record. And Chad's just like, mm-hmm. So everybody is on board with this thing,
yeah, I don't
right?
know why. It's just such a bad feeling.
And you hear Hank go, what? The sports jock maybe, but Chad? I mean, like Chad's the
like Chad's the
He said, "Come on, isn't anyone going to say what we all better be thinking?" And Dale pipes up with, "It's an outrage." He goes, "That's right, Dale." Dale says, "I am outraged. I really am." Like he just figured out that he's outraged.
I mean, if for the sake of sportsmanship, that is such a terrible thing.
It is. It's rough. Yeah. But I can certainly see schools doing it. Hank says, Bill.
Maybe nowadays. That's the thing. I think this is more like.
Oh, it is.
More
yeah.
topical for now than it was for the time period.
It was.
There's no way in 2001 or 1999 or
1999,
whenever this show aired that if you had an injury and you were that close to a record,
I
it didn't matter
so,
if it was it was like one of the last two games of your senior year.
Yeah.
The record's somebody else's, not yours.
It's true.
So.
Hank says, Bill, if we feel this cheated, can't imagine how bad you must feel. Bill says,
like a stabbing. Why do they do that? They got to bring light to it, and he's already like mentally disturbed.
I know they're piling on him. Yeah. He goes, oh, I feel bad I couldn't help Ricky across the line, of course. And Hank's like, oh, for the love of. He goes, you don't understand. I never really appreciated my record till Ricky broke it. I think I'll send him a thank you note. Yeah, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bake him some muffins. Yeah, all right then. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And he just walks off. He goes to his house. We're now in Bill's, what I wrote down, Bill's depressing house. And then under that, I said Bill's depressing house. And then under it, I said, Bill seems depressed. So I guess, but he's just kind of sitting on the edge of his bed drinking all by himself. He pulls the muffins out of the stove and or out of the oven and goes to put them in a thing, and they just flow right out like they haven't even solidified. So
King of the Hill has to be one of the first late night animated shows or whatever, or primetime animated shows that actually deals with men's mental health.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of mental health. It tends to come from Bill.
Yeah, because I mean, the Simpsons is too joke heavy. Family Guy's they're all too joke heavy. Those TV shows.
They're not realistic enough.
Anything
honestly.
Like heartfelt or sentimental.
Mm-hmm. So we're now at Emerson Hardware. Hank is there with a couple of guys that are buying hardware, I guess, and the cashier. And Hank is still on his soapbox. Well, I'll still listen to the traffic and weather report and the fishing, but that's it. I've had it with Sports Jerk and Chad.
Fishing report on the radio?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is that a thing?
They used to give you like lake conditions and stuff like that, so I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
You know what? I used to wake up really early in the. I didn't wake up in the morning specifically to watch it, but when I woke up early in the morning, I used to watch our hometown hero Ted Nugent's Call of the Wild. I liked it because there was no politics in it. That's what I liked about it.
He still makes that damn show.
He does make that show, from what I understand. But what I liked about it was he never injected his politics into the show. It was just him like, you have to lick the deer's
Well, I can tell you right now, if you go to his
stuff.
house, he's going to inject some politics because I did and he did.
He can't not talk about it. Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, so Hank is obviously upset with the Sports Jerk and Chad, and one of the other customers says, "Hank, the facts are facts. Fact is, the boy would have blown that old record out of the water if he didn't get hurt." And the cashier says, "Well, I don't know why you're so mad, Hank. If the fat bald guy who had the record doesn't care, why should you?" Good Lord, sir. I don't know who you are, but damn.
His name is Bill.
Hank says, "Yeah, his name is Bill. You played on his team." And the cashier looks at him and goes, "That was Bill? Oh, good Lord." He's really let himself go.
He fell far from where he was at, yeah.
So we're back at the Hill House. Peggy is on the couch reading, and she's got those tiny-ass weights that she's lifting.
Yeah,
she's lifting those little tiny weights.
Pounders.
He comes in the door, Hank does, with the biggest bag of screws I've ever seen. It looks like
a megalomart size
Well,
bag.
you know, when you go buy one of the smaller bags of dog food, that's about the size it looks
Chuck
like. It's
Mangione
huge. Yeah, huge.
It feels so good to screw.
It feels so good to screw these into the holes. Peggy says, "Megalo screws,
screwdriver
Hank."
with the purchase of a bag.
He says, "I couldn't give the hardware store my business, not with Ricky Suggs fever infecting the place." Then you hear Luann counting. She comes by with Bobby, and she's like 951, 952, 53. And Bobby is on a pogo stick. Bobby says, "I'm setting a new world's record." Hank says, "Well, that's real good, Bobby, but I think you have to start over when you fall off," because he just keeps falling off, but she just keeps counting, right?
That's one of my favorite jokes here in this show.
He says, "I'll be honest with you, Dad, not in the best shape, and this is the only way I'm going to make it." Luann says, 950. Wait, how many was that? And Bobby says, "Let's just call it an even 1,000. Hank says, "Dang it, Bobby, that's not how you set a record." Bobby says, "Okay." And so he gets off and he gets on the pogo stick again and he tries to do one, he falls off. Tries to do one, falls off. Tries to do one, falls off. And finally he's just like, forget it. Hank says, "That Ricky Suggs, I can't believe they let him limp his way into the record book," because he's turned inside and now he's talking to Peggy. Peggy says, "Poor Bill. He was living in his past and that boy has stolen it. Where's Bill supposed to live now?" All right, we're at a school board meeting. Hank is going to go tell.
Always in the past. I think he really heavily.
Hank is going to go tell the school board now about how what they did was bad. Which good luck with that, Hank. Hank says, "Mr. Chairman, I'd like to respectfully suggest that you put an asterisk next to Ricky Suggs' name in the record book, and that asterisk should read," and that's not the way asterisks work, "This record was attained by means of fraud and bad sportsmanship. Thank you." And the city council or the school board, they're all just like, "I don't agree with him. I don't think he's right."
Yeah,
like that.
I don't know why they're so.
And then Eustace Miller, who is on the school board, says, "That suggestion is denied, Mr. Hill. Ricky Suggs is an inspiration to us all. Now to more important matters. My motion to add fatty boom batty to the list of unacceptable hate speech."
Yeah, it's the 90s. Yeah, fatty boom batty.
Hank just leaves the meeting.
90s insult.
Fatty boom batty. And now we're at Bill's house again. And Hank is kind of looking for him. He doesn't see Bill there. Finally finds Bill sitting on the hood of his car in the end zone of this football stadium.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not sure how you got your car in there, but Hank comes over, sits on the hood with him and says, "Remember when we used to run wind sprints out here till we couldn't stop throwing up?" Bill's just like, He said, "Well, we were kings, Hank." He says, "You okay?" He goes, "Oh, sure. Good sportsman doesn't whine when things don't go his way." Yeah, Hank says, "Yeah, but good sports play by the rules." There's
got to be something in the rule book for that crap that they did. Yeah.
Hank says, "But good sports play by the rules. You did, they didn't. Hey, how about that time we snuck into the stadium and mowed the whole football field before the groundskeeper could?" And they're both just laughing. He goes, "The look on his face right before we apologized." And Bill's like, "Yeah, we were crazy."
Right before we apologized. Yeah, we were crazy. That's funny.
Bill says, "I can thank the Army for straightening me out." Hank says, "Yeah, you were a changed man when you came back." Bill goes, "Oh, yeah, I may not have made it to Vietnam since the war ended right after I volunteered, but the barber school at Fort Bragg, baptism by fire, my friend." Yep. Hank says, "Yeah, it's too bad you had to ship out before the end of our last season. Bill says, well, the country needed barbers, and I was flunking trigonometry.
Oh, so he didn't graduate.
No, he didn't graduate.
He just went straight to the Army.
Yeah, and
which
Hank,
isn't even an option anymore. That's funny that they let him
oh,
do that
sure.
back then.
Yeah. Hank goes, you weren't around at graduation. Bill says, or senior prom. Then he looks at Hank and goes, was there dancing? I mean, it's just so sad.
Man
so
worried about
sad.
a prom dance.
All right, so we're back at Arlen High School, and Hank has gone to see the coach, catches him in the hall and goes, Coach, what happens if a player gets injured or can't finish the season? Coach says, well, we redshirt him and then let him make up the games the next season. Hank says, well, what if he's out for a couple of seasons? Coach says, well, as long as he hasn't graduated and keeps his eligibility, then he can play the next season. Hank says, well, what if he's out for 25 seasons? Coach goes, oh, Hank, find a pickup game somewhere. He's like, Hank, come on. He goes, no. I'm talking about William Fontaine de la Tour d'Autrive, the bulldozer. He still has his red shirt eligibility. He didn't finish the senior season, and you can put him in Friday's game.
Okay, so let's discuss the eligibility rules
Sure.
for Texas high school football. So there are rules for Texas high school football that do allow like a redshirt year. So you have 5 years to complete 4 years of football.
Right.
But it says right here, students who become 19 years of age before September 1st are ineligible for athletic competition.
Well, they changed it after Bill.
Yeah, students have
what they
5 years to complete 4 years of eligibility unless they turn 19 before September 1st of that season. Bill would not have been allowed to compete by the technicality
That makes
of
total
the
sense.
Texas high school
Well, it makes
football
total sense. You don't let a grown man play football with a bunch of kids.
Nah.
You know,
Why
that's
would
just
you?
the way it is.
Well, they were doing it in college though. They do it in college. There was like a 39-year-old man
sure.
or something that was playing
Yeah.
here recently. I was reading about.
Yeah.
And then that one quarterback or whatever,
Aaron
Bennett,
Rodgers.
His name's Bennett, Stetson Bennett. He was 25 years. Georgia, I think, is where he was at.
Wow.
He was 25, but he won a championship and he's in the NFL now. But but you have guys that have already been in the NFL as quarterbacks for 4 years. And he's just now getting there at the same age they are.
Yeah.
Like Lamar Jackson's the same age as this Stetson Bennett guy.
Wow.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. So he asked the coach to put him in. He goes, the coach says, are you asking me to slice another piece of that phony bologna like I did last week's game? So we know at least the coach didn't like it either.
Yeah.
You know, that this was brought to him.
No,
Hank
he
says,
didn't like it.
no, I'm not asking you to fix the game. I'm asking you to fix an injustice. Just put Bill in and let him get his record back fair and square. Let's show those kids how we used to play football. Coach goes, I'd have to cut somebody. Hank says, you got that exchange student who kicks barefoot. I think we've all had enough of that.
Yeah, we got a fact for that too, real quick. So it used to be a common thing.
It did.
About the 80s, it started dying off. There was no evidence that the barefoot kick, because they said that there was an advantage,
Yeah.
but there was never any. As the science went on, by the time the 80s showed up, they're like, yeah, this is just, there's no reason to be doing it.
It's just
But,
preference, I think, is
the
all
last
it is.
actual barefoot kick in a game was in 2002 by St. Louis Rams kicker Jeff Wilkins. So he was the last actual barefoot kick on an NFL.
I think a lot of
field.
the soccer kickers kick barefoot. You know, that kind of
Well,
thing.
when I was in high school, our kickers were all soccer players, and our
Really?
state teams, all of our kickers for the state teams were.
I mean, it makes total sense, right?
were soccer players
To have
yeah.
soccer players
they
and
could
stuff
boot
in
the
there.
ball.
Yeah, they can
They could
can
really
kick it
boot
like
the
crazy.
ball. Some of them could
Yeah.
like boot it from goal.
Well, they can control the ball too, which
kick.
is
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah.
So he goes, I think we've all had enough of that. And we're now at Bill's house, and Hank's telling Bill that he's going to be able to be put in the game. He goes, I can play again? Thank God I never graduated from high school. Hey, do I have to go to class too? And this is
Well,
sad.
that's so
This
weird,
is sad on a
man.
couple of levels here
Lot of
because
levels.
Bill
Lot of
says, do I
levels.
have to go to class too? Hank says, come on, Bill, you're on the football team. Bill goes, oh, just like the old days.
Just like the old days.
Damn.
Well,
that's
see,
a little
that's
rough.
the thing now is I think that shift has like changed really, really heavily. So from what I observed over the last like 4 or 5 years of kids, there's, it used to be where being a smart or whatever was nerdy.
Yeah.
But it seems like all of that nerd culture is now mainstream. So it's cool to be smart. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Where it didn't
sure.
used to be. So you got a lot more athletes now that are wanting to go do it. And even the star athletes. When I was in high school, we had two of the best running backs in the state of Texas, and they were brothers, but they couldn't stay out of trouble. They couldn't stay out of jail. They were stealing from their own field house,
Yeah.
but they were enabling those kids.
Sure.
The coach would go
Sure.
bail him out of jail on a Tuesday, and he
Sounds
would
like
keep
a
him in
school
the
around here
field
that starts
house.
with an M.
he would keep him in the field house. He wouldn't even let him go to class. They would just keep him in the field house, and all he would do is just work out and just
no, I don't doubt
himself
that.
for football.
I don't doubt it.
Let him play on Friday every time.
Yeah, well, that's those schools that open up for transfers. They'll just let anybody in.
Well, then what happened is they got to the state game and
they caused a problem.
No, he just stopped playing. He
Really?
just literally just
Wow.
did not, like, he put in 120,000% effort all the way there. But when he got to the state game, he was like,
That's
everybody said he
crazy.
threw it because of how he played. Because everybody knew the potential he could play to.
Yeah.
But he didn't even play to a quarter of his potential. He was just out there sloppy and everything didn't care.
That's nuts.
Pissed everybody off at him.
All right, if you want to learn something, listen to these following commercials because we're going to take a break and we will be right back. Boop.
Hey, Rusty, did you know that you could be putting oil and chemicals in your coffee?
No, I didn't know that.
I love coffee creamer, but I don't think I've ever turned a bottle around to actually see what's inside. Recently I did, and I found out many of my favorite creamers, like especially the one my wife used to use, they contain ingredients I would never intentionally add to my coffee cup, like canola oil, potassium phosphate, whatever
Sounds
that is.
Terrible.
Artificial flavors. I can't take artificial flavors a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm
A lot
good
of
on
them
any
just taste-
flavoring.
They taste gross.
I don't like flavors in my coffee. I like the earth and flavor of coffee.
I mean, I love coffee. Don't get me wrong. I do love it. I just I don't like all that crap in my coffee, right?
Yeah, no, who does that?
So let me tell you about Laird Superfoods then. They have better ingredients, amazing taste, and functional benefits. Laird Superfood creamers are crafted from the highest quality, all-natural, real food ingredients. All Laird products are sustainably sourced and thoroughly tested to ensure that you're incorporating the cleanest, finest fuel into your routine. Now, they're all natural. They've got whole food ingredients. They contain naturally occurring MCTs from coconut oil, and everybody tells you coconut oil is good for you. There's no artificial flavors, no colors, no additives, no sugar from highly refined corn syrup. So that's a big deal right there. If you take one thing you do every day and make it better, Laird developed his creamer himself to stay powered for a day on the waves. He was a big wave surfer, Laird Hamilton was, and he needed a morning fuel that could allow him to spend the entire day chasing the ultimate wave. So he made this creamer, and it is it's crazy, crazy good. Laird sources high-quality plant-based ingredients globally and puts an emphasis on U.S. sources whenever possible. They aim to source responsibly and sustainably and believe that the foods you consume should be as good for the earth as they are for you. They have honest and transparent products and labels. If you try it, you won't go back. They have functional superfood creamers, instant lattes, and prebiotic greens. They have a variety of snacks and supplements full of wholesome plant-based ingredients to keep you charged for wherever life takes you. So to get a deal on Laird Superfoods, I need you to go to zen.ai BWAAA King of the Hill. So that's zen.ai/BWAAA King of the Hill. And your offer code there is BWAAA. So Laird Superfoods makes a better creamer that keeps you powered all day, and it's better for you, the earth, and your coffee. What do you say, Rusty? You want to go get some coffee?
Coffee.
Hey, Rusty.
Yeah.
Did you know that dehydration is the leading cause of daytime fatigue?
Oh, no.
I don't know about you, but like 2:30, 3 o'clock, I just hit a wall almost every day. I was shocked to learn that even mild dehydration can cause headaches, muscle weakness, brain fog, but luckily there's a cure.
Oh, there is?
Actually, I should have said there's a solution. It's called Cure. Cure Hydration. The Cure Hydration is an oral rehydration solution, or ORS, that contains the perfect balance of electrolytes. We know how important that is because plants crave it.
Super important.
And glucose to help your body absorb water and rehydrate quickly. The formula is made with all natural ingredients like coconut water, powder, and pink Himalayan salt. Whoopee. And it is free from artificial flavors, sweeteners, and preservatives. Cure Hydration is vegan, gluten-free, and non-GMO. That makes it a great option for anyone with dietary restrictions and preferences. The packets that they give you, they're convenient. They're easy to use. You just mix them with water and drink. They're perfect for on-the-go, travel, or anytime you need quick hydration. Hydration is more than just drinking water, Rusty. It is that's what Lauren Picasso, a lifelong endurance athlete, discovered as she struggled to stay hydrated no matter how much water she drank. I've known people like that. My wife drinks so much water, it's crazy. Lauren found Cure, a science-backed electrolyte drink mix to make hydration easy for everyone. Cure believes that hydration should be simple and effective, but also clean and natural. That's why they only use the highest ingredients and quality plant-based stuff to avoid any artificial or harmful additives. They're committed to transparency and honesty. All of their ingredients are clearly listed on their website and packaging, and they're always happy to answer any questions or concerns. So are you ready to combat dehydration?
Absolutely.
You can try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use your code
BWAAA. Sorry, I blanked.
You're good. For 20% off your order. Try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use our special code
BWAAA
for 20% off your order. Your coupon will be activated at checkout. Try Cure Hydration. Stop drying out.
All right, and we are back. We're going to finish this sucker up. We are now at Bill's house still. Bill is going through his closet trying to get to his old uniform. He pulls out a bunch of mops, which makes me think that Bill uses mops as girls sometimes. That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, I mean,
Then he pulls out a croquet set, and then he pulls out a jackalope, a stuffed jackalope, and then he pulls out a second croquet set. That's the funniest part of it right there. He has two croquet sets.
You know what? I think that's something we got to explain.
Jackalope?
Yeah, I think that's a Texan thing. So for those of you that don't know what a jackalope is,
it's not real.
It's not a real thing. But what they do is it's
kind of like a snipe hunt.
It's like a taxidermy thing that they do.
Yeah.
And they actually have one at the museum locally here. They have one at the Baylor Museum.
They take a rabbit and they put
deer horns
on it. Yeah, and call it a jackalope.
And call it a jackalope.
Funny stuff. Okay, so
good what do they call it? Chuck Wagon humor.
Sure, Chuck Wagon humor. Made by a guy named Chuck Wagon.
Yeah.
So the funniest part to me was that he pulled out two croquet sets. I just thought that was fantastic.
So, yeah, who has two croquet sets? I
don't know, but it's
great. I don't
great.
Even have one croquet set.
Yeah, it's
who
fantastic.
Has two croquet sets?
So Bill is going through this stuff and he goes, there it is, my old uniform. Haven't worn it since my 30th birthday party. And Hank says, suit up, bulldozer. And then you hear Bill going with his bulldozer cheer, and he goes, Hank, how'd my head get so fat? Because he can't fit the helmet on his head.
Yeah, big old
Hank's
head.
just like, he goes, I don't know, Hank. I'm still an athlete. I got my pride. I'm not sure how I feel about the other team just rolling over for me. Because he still thinks that what's going to happen is the same thing that happened with Ricky. You know, I mean, he thinks they're just going to let him tie the record up or whatever.
Tiebreaker or whatever. Yeah.
Hank says, well, don't you worry about that. Belton, which is a real place, has the toughest defensive line in the division. You know, the whole first string flunked history last year so they could come back and go to state. They'll never roll over.
God.
And Bill goes, oh, good.
Yeah.
You know, like, you be careful what you ask for there, Bill. All right, next scene, we're in Hank's backyard. Bill is in his pads, no jersey, but he's got his helmet and his pads on. There's a shopping cart over there that has two mattresses strapped to the front of it. And the only thing that went through my mind is who stole the shopping cart? Shopping cart's not something you just have around.
Oh, no.
Somebody had to steal it, and it's in Hank's yard.
Well, maybe they were driving down the road or something. There was one like dumped off in a ditch.
Or maybe the place let them.
Stealing.
Maybe Pink and White let them use it.
You know, if you find one like that, you're like, and a cop like sees you pushing it, they'll make you like, they're like, hey, you got to take that back. I was like, oh, well, I found it in the ditch.
I can
like,
see
no.
Hank going to the Pink and White and going, hey, listen, we really need to use one of these or whatever.
He probably
and they probably gave it to him. Yeah.
Or yeah,
so I can't imagine him being part of anything stolen.
Or he was friends
like
with the guy that used to own the old Piggly Wiggly or something that got shut down before Michelob Mart.
Yeah. Well, Pink and White.
He had the Pink and White.
So Hank is he's all donned up like a coach. Dale and Boomhauer are over there watching in the driveway. And Hank says, Bobby, success on the field depends on hard work off the field. That's why I run through a tough practice, but a fun practice. Now watch this. He walks up to Bill and he goes, hey, Bill, what's that over there? Bill goes, where? He goes, made you look. Great joke, Hank. He goes, okay, let's hit the tackling sled. Bobby, go help Boomhauer. And Bobby goes over and crawls into the shopping cart, and it's got 2 mattresses on the front of it. You got Boomhauer pushing it. And Hank says, go, Bill, go, go, go. And then you hear Bill, and he runs over there, and he starts pushing. It's like a tackling sled, basically, but it's made out of a shopping cart and a couple of old mattresses. He goes, okay, Bobby, start taunting. Bobby's in the shopping cart taunting Mr. Dotrieve as he tries to push this sled. He goes, hey, batter, swing. Oh, wait, no. Come on, you old tub of slop, move your can. And then you just hear more growling and more panting, and then starts coughing. And finally, Bill just kind of gives out. Bill has not taken care of himself. He goes, I said, Hank, this bulldozer's out of gas. I can either train or I can play, but I can't do both. And Hank says, all right, hit the showers. He goes, nope, too tired. He goes, all right, I'll get the hose. So he's just going to hose Bill off in his
hose
backyard.
the stink off him. Sweet.
All right, so we're back at Arlen High School, and we're at a pep rally. And Bill is up there on stage with the kids, and Ricky is on the mic on the stage. And he goes, when I crossed that goal line and set the record, I didn't do it just for me. I did it for my girlfriend. And then 2 different girls stand up in the audience and go, I love you, Ricky. And then they both look at each other like they're going to kill each other. He goes, and for everyone here at Arlen High. And then everybody cheers. And then he says, except for old man Crybaby, who's probably going to cost us the game. And then the coach comes up and he's like, whoa, wait, thank you, Ricky. That's enough. And then every once in a while, we hear a yell from the crowd. This one is a Ricky Suggs in the background. And the coach says, okay, now settle down, class of 01. So he's talking about 2001, right? Yeah. He goes, we have a new addition to the team. And then somebody in the audience, boo, get off. He goes, hey, now this guy was setting football records before you were born. He fought for your freedom in North Carolina during Nam.
Yeah, North Carolina.
I'm honored to introduce the Bulldozer. It's just silent. It's silent in the pep rally, right?
Super quiet. Nobody knows who he is. That's why.
Bill walks up in his ill-fitting jersey, and he goes, Arlen's number 1. And then you just kind of hear the feedback of the microphone because still nobody's cheering.
This exchange here with the crowd is probably one of the lamest things Bill does in the entire show's run.
Bill comes up and goes, hey, where's the party tonight? Anyone's parents out of town? You just hear, loser, off in the background. He goes, hey, my parents aren't even alive. Party at my place.
Yeah, it's...
Jeez, Bill.
The high school kids, Bill.
I just love how Bill lifts his arms like that, and his jersey comes up showing his belly.
Oh yeah,
that's just fantastic.
The gut.
They've got a banner behind him that says State Champs 1983. So I'm guessing that's the last time they had a chance at anything. Now we're at the game in the locker room, and the coach is kind of giving that speech before the game starts. He goes, okay, everybody, huddle up. And then Bill comes in, Arlen High, we honor thee, the legacy of bravery. Oh, come on, guys, too cool to sing the school song. One of the players looked at him and goes, we changed it back in 97. Coach whispers to him, it's Candle in the Wind now. He says, Marilyn Monroe or England's Rose? Which I guess England's Rose is Princess Diana, right?
Yeah. Well, because he wrote the song for Marilyn Monroe, and then he was really good friends with Princess Diana. Yeah. And that's why he didn't play the royal
Elton John.
This recent royal wedding, Elton John, is because he was friends with Princess Diana, so it would have been kind of funny if he would have sang her ex-husband who potentially killed her.
So now we're at the game. It is game time, and a coach to one of the players on the sideline. He goes, all right, let's see some blocking. And then you hear a whistle. You hear the quarterback say hike, and nothing happens. And so the announcer says, Arlen, to punt the ball. Hank is up in the stands. He's talking to anybody who will listen. He goes, if we could just get into scoring position, we'd be able to see Bill get put in the game. And then the one of the Belton players runs off the sidelines, after a play, and he's on the opposing side, and he almost hits Bill and goes, don't have a heart attack, mister. Bill goes, aspirin this morning, red wine last night. Don't worry about me. Okay, Bill, that's a great comeback. The crowd's just cheering and cheering, and then you hear, fumble yaya, and that's from Bobby, and there's been a fumble. Hank says, sure is, Bobby, and Arlen's in scoring position. And so the coach is like, okay, Bill, we may not have youth or speed or performance-enhancing drugs, but we got something they don't, guts. Now get out there and get us a touchdown, Bulldozer. Bill goes out. He's the meanest I've ever seen Bill look.
Oh, he looks rough, yeah.
And he's going out there, like a bulldozer.
The bulldozer growl,
Yep.
yeah.
And the quarterback in the huddle goes, well, I guess we're giving it to Mr. Dotrieve. And then the other player looks at him and goes, just don't step on me. Man, they have zero confidence in this dude, right? Confidence whatsoever.
Zero.
You hear the announcer in the background go, now in the backfield for Arlen, bringing the number 72 out of retirement, Army Sergeant Barber Bill, the bulldozer Dotrieve. And then you hear, and the crowd starting to chant, right?
You get a couple of guys standing up and they're like, hey, is that the bulldozer
That's the
growl?
bulldozer growl. And the other guy goes, and that's the bulldozer. All right.
He must have been prolific to play two positions. He was a lineman
y'all are up
and
to
a running
speed
back.
now. Yeah, I guess, man. I don't know.
Or they just were like, all right, he's the center. He takes the snap and just runs with the snap. Is that what they're doing?
He was just a big, wide dude is all he was. Yeah, give him the ball. So the play finally starts. We hear down, set, hike. And then they give Bill the ball, and he just starts churning towards that goal line.
Yeah.
And you hear things popping and cracking, and you see his knee pop out. I mean, it's
scene
crazy.
Right here, how he's kind of falling apart. It reminds me of the leg braces falling apart on Forrest.
Oh, it's true. It is kind of like that. Yeah.
Because he's just like crunching and crunching.
Yeah. He is just trying to get to that goal line, and he's starting to get people on his back and stuff. And one of the receivers.
Not just people either, man. He's got the line.
Oh, I know.
On his back.
Well, the big Belton lineman.
He might even got the secondary pushing on him too.
And then we see one of the other players over on the side. He's like, I'm open. Bill just looks at him and goes, no, and just keeps going. And he finally makes it in and just kind of collapses in the end zone with all these guys. And one of the players runs up and goes, Mr. Dotrieve, my dad said you were good. And Hank comes over. Bill's laying on the ground and goes, you did it, Bill. Way to go. Bill says, I scored for Arlen. And he goes, yep, you tied the record. And there's still time on the clock. If Arlen gets the ball, you can get the record back. And Bill, being probably the smartest one in this whole thing at this point, says, yeah, when Ricky tied my record, he did it fair and square. I am honored to share it with him. Besides, I can't get up.
Yeah, he's pretty stuck.
He looks at Hank and says, thank you, Hank. I couldn't have done it without you. And he goes, no, sir, you the man. You know, no, you the man. I can't point, Hank. He can't even point back
Can't lift his arm. Yeah, he's dead to the world, man.
Hank says, that's okay. Don't look down at your leg. Yeah. And then we get our credits, and that's it. So Bill he tied the record with Ricky.
Yeah.
And it was a nice little episode. I mean, it was sweet.
Bit down there.
No, it's down at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
We get our credits, and then as the credits are rolling, we're back at the Heimlich.
The Arroyo. Right.
No, we're at the Heimlich Medical Center again, and Peggy is on one of the bikes.
Oh, yeah,
Bill is on
Bill's
the other bike because Bill's having to go through this stuff now to try to build himself back up
to normal.
Yeah, and Peggy turns up the radio, and you hear Sports Jock say, oh, it'll be a battle, all right. And then Chad says, you know, St. Margaret's wants revenge for that butt whipping they got served up last year. You know, their coach should have Dotrieve give them their halftime speech. I've never seen anything like him. Heart like a lion, old-time football. Shoot, I thought he was dead when they wheeled him off the field, but just 2 hours later, he was eating the jalapeno cornbread at the Arroyo. That man is uptown. No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
I just wrote Bill happy at the bottom because he just kind of smiles, you know.
Yeah,
it was very nice. It was very sweet. Yeah. And that's it. That's it.
I'm not sure what the moral of this story is, but please don't go to your high school and ask to run the ball for no records.
Yeah,
I really don't. I don't think that's cool.
I think it's just keep on weird. Keeping on or something. I don't know what the
life's a garden, just dig it. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. All right. That was
homos naked.
Season 4, episode 3.
I mean,
Bills
home is what you make it.
Bills are made to be broken.
Yeah.
You want to tell people where they can find us if they want more?
You can find us at bwaaaakoth.com.
Yeah, we are on the Rogue Media Network, and lots of great shows to pick up out there, including yours, Animation Conversation with F.
Animation Conversation with F. F is a storyboard director, animator. He's written some shoose.
He wrote The Wizard of Oz.
I don't know about that.
No, he didn't?
No,
okay.
I don't think he did that one. He's not that old.
War and Peace?
War and Peace, yeah. Leo Tolstoy.
Yep. He wrote War and Peace.
Yeah, it's like 800 pages
Under
long.
his pen name, Tolstoy.
That's a long book.
Yeah, it's
really
big.
Long
it's big.
Book. It's
yeah.
a tough read, too.
Yeah.
Tough read. Good book, but tough read.
Yeah.
But
tough
yeah,
movie to watch,
very tough movie. So y'all can go over there to Animation Conversation and check out me and F. We've got a YouTube channel, so that airs every Wednesday at 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Be there, be square.
We got some cool stuff coming for that.
Yeah, I've got a couple other shows that I do. One is called Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's all about comic books. And then
you guys do a video yet?
No, hadn't done any video on that. I think that one will probably always stay audio. And then Mason and Zach from that show, they do all the comic book pulls of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Just talk about the comic books that came out and why they got them and what they're looking for in them. And then I've got 2 more shows. One is Jennifer Love Hewitt, Please Be on Our Show, which is a bald-faced appeal to Miss Jennifer Love Hewitt to please be on our show. She will at some point call into our show. And then I've got one called Found Sound, where I play audio cassettes that we've found. I know you've played a part in finding a lot of those for me, and I appreciate it.
I scrapped you some of them up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If y'all got any,
Tons of shows.
If y'all got any found anything, send it in.
Yeah, you want? Well, that's a little broad.
Not anything.
Yeah, you don't want like stuff you find in your pocket. You know,
found media.
Media.
Specifically cassettes.
Cassettes, VHS.
I'll do VHS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, real quick, I found a couple of VHS tapes, and I'm only keeping found footage these days.
Sure.
I'm throwing everything else away.
Oh, cool.
And Alaska '96. It was somebody's family trip from Alaska in 1996.
Oh, wow. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I like all the stock footage.
Yeah, that's
things.
fantastic. I would love to play something like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, how about that? You guys
We're gonna
tell
have to
us
do
if,
that.
y'all would like a found footage VHS deal, and we could do it underneath the Bois umbrella, just
Sure.
something
What
neat.
the hell?
So let us know if y'all'd be interested in something like that. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
also
fun.
started a weird little
Chester?
Instagram project. No, Curtis.
Curtis.
A weird little. It's a Curtis TV.
Yeah,
It's
sure,
one of the old black
sure.
and white Curtis TVs. So I had started this little project called Lil TV Guy.
Lil TV Guy.
.tv.guy on
Little
Instagram.
TV guy.
Y'all go follow that. It's pretty funny. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was
could be
kind of cool.
It could
Yeah,
be neat.
I don't know what it is, but it's
I don't either.
But it's fun.
Weird as
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, join us again next time. We will be here with season 4, episode 4. I believe that one is all about Hank teaching woodshop.
Yep. And that's Texas-sized Wimatanye.
We Matanye indeed to you all. Bye. Cool. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.